Hello, this is Samantha Kendrick concerning Pamela Kendrick, 11th of the 4th, 39. She's British. This has clearly gone to your head office and other departments, obviously. I'm just going to dive straight in. The problem with abuse is that, and neglect and all that's negative, is that when there's certain signs of neglect, that means that the people in charge are so ensconced in abuse that actually saying to these people, you do know how you should be running your business is A, B, C, and D. So I'm now going to shock you. And the reason that I'm doing this is that you have control of my mother. And when a family member rings up and the staff are abusive, it's one step away from hurting the patient. Now, brace yourself. This is how it should be. When I ring up, you're supposed to say, "Oh, hi, Samantha, how are you? Your mum's been well today." I know. Blows your mind. Not, so am I going to list the following? I'm afraid I am. Whoever I spoke to yesterday, I had spent 9 minutes. She wouldn't give me her name. She also told me that there'd been a meeting and that I caused trouble. I think her name was Tamika. One of them, she was very young. She thought that I was press. I mean, that's just flat out deluded. Clearly, the ones that are abusive are connected to NOREE. Now, NOREE is under investigation. For some unknown reason, you're not believing anything that I'm saying. But if you think about it, I'm a woman in her 50s. I sound travelled. I sound quite cultured. This is not me just making things up. And it worries me that you know so little about your own industry. So before you allow your staff to gang up on a family member, and remember, my mother has no one, not one single person. It's worrying me a lot, you attacking her mental health this way. She's petrified. You are aware that my mother went in for breast cancer and there has been no cancer checkup. And one of the persons said, "Oh, but she didn't want to." Yeah, but she didn't want to go, she wanted to go back to England and she absolutely did not want to go in the Catholic home. But you ignored that. So it's very selective, isn't it? What I have noticed is that anything that's abusive, that's what you'll select. As Southern Cross is a chain, you need to get hold of those employees that have been incredibly rude to me. And you need to sit them down and say, is your job worth Noree's friendship? What's more important? Noree is a migrant. You know, she's kind of come from nowhere and she's ganged up with Dr. PAECH. I will now list the reasons why of my concern. And if it was your family member, and remember that you belong to the same healthcare as these two people. They are under investigations, which means you are too. My mother went in for breast cancer and there were things that were going on and she ended up checking herself in and she woke up to Dr. PAECH standing over her and he told her he'd given her 2 rounds of shock treatment. You just don't do that to an 80-year-old and there's no depression in the world that justifies that. Now, there are reasons why he did that. Like the reasons why Jimmy Savile did his particular abuse, Weinstein, they have particular go-to moves, but there are reasons behind that. There are reasons why my mother is in your place, which not only do you have to distance yourself from, you have to put on record that you want absolutely nothing to do with this. For your company, you're a chain. When this comes out, this is going to horrify family members. From that moment on, she went into one place after being shock treatment and she fell and she had a bruised face. It was so bad that they didn't let her out. They didn't help her. They completely overdrugged her. her eyes were like saucers. The drugs were so bad, and she was just, you know, it was drug speak. I actually am not. I've never done drugs. It's not my thing, but I do know the drug pattern. And the whole time I'm ringing saying, can her doctor contact me? And NOREE, can you contact me? You know, I need to know what's going on. And at no time did they. That's actually illegal. The irony of this whole guardianship is, you know, you're relying heavily on a lie. It's true that they take over the medical. They do. But not the well-being. You are supposed to tell the family the well-being. And all of you, and you're a chain, have said, no, guardianship, we can't tell you anything. That's not true. That's because that would be kidnapping, wouldn't it? They had to put that in to stop themselves being outed. Right from the start, NOREE told Mum that she was going to hurt her. From the very, very beginning, she peered through the window of her apartment. There was glass and she peered through the window. Everybody in the world knows that you do not peer through the window. You could startle that person. It is a sign of a person that is a predator. That's what predators do. Also, Mum said, could you not look through the window? And she said, that's racist. What? Where's the leap? How can you justify that leap? I was very worried about Mum because, of course, there was no breast cancer checkup. Her hearing was going, and I was like, please, I need to speak to her. So I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I rang Mum, and NOREE was there taking her to Dr. PAECH, and she wouldn't speak to me. Also, I mean, this is incredibly illegal. The manager of EUREKA Gardens, when she was taken, with no doctor contacting me, no hospital contacting me, she was gone for 3 months. I thought she had died. I left a message, and he didn't contact me. I had to leave 3 messages at EUREKA Gardens. They need to be fired. That account needs to be taken off those people and given to the other real estate or whoever. These things are very serious charges, and because you're so abusive, because remember what's supposed to happen in the world is that EUREKA Gardens should have contacted me, the carers should have contacted me. Now Australia is a migrant country, and there's lots of people in the bushlands. Not only that, it's a migrant country, so many, well, everybody, unless you're Aboriginal, you come from overseas. Where's been the video calls? I'm serious. Why isn't it installed that there's video calls? And how many months has it been that my mother's been there? And oh, it takes a while. Does it though? It takes a month. It takes a month maximum to get internet installed. So this neglect. The ones that attacked me, they gave everything away. You find that in life. It's very hard to explain to people that when they're deluded, because all of this is complete delusion that you think that you can get away with it. The things that I've had to do since that she's been in Mount S care, my mother's nearly 6 foot, and they put her in a very, very tiny bed. Well, there was managers, there was carers, there was nurses, and you could see when you walked in the door, you're struggling in that bed, you're bigger than the bed. It took me having to ring up the head office and screaming. And here's the thing, why do I have to go outside of myself? Why do I have to scream and shout? As soon as she checked in, you should have said, oh, we need to put her in another bed. Now, my mother doesn't like this because she's feared. That we're actually Jewish. The sign of a Jewish person is a flat bum, and you actually eat around your body type. We all do. That's why Asians eat certain food, blah blah blah. We eat a lot of fish, a lot of eggs, and a lot of chicken. We do not eat pork for many reasons. It's very fatty. It's the cousin of humans. Did you know that? It's not good for the heart. It's a very cheap meat. You find drinkers will eat a lot of pork. We're not drinkers on the whole. Of course, the joke about the fragile immune system. Yeah, we can't eat dairy.